Okay, I think we'll kick off. I'll pass over to Amanda to kick us off. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Amanda Zuliani. I am a project implementation consultant here at Wellington IT. Welcome to the CUEngage event on what is new with the CUMOBILE. This event will be led by our product manager, Claire McCavanagh, our software development manager, Gary Bigan, and our digital tech lead, Alan Adair. We'll be doing a Q&A at the end, so feel free to pop your questions into the chat bar and we'll answer these later on. I hope you enjoy this event. I will now pass you over to Claire to kick off the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amanda. Good morning and welcome, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Claire McCavanagh and I am the product manager here at Wellington IT. So before we kick off into the fact and figures surrounding CUMOBILE, and before we show you all what's exciting and new, I just wanted to say a big happy birthday to CUMOBILE on its first birthday. It has been a whirlwind of a product journey, and I've had the pleasure of working with and collaborating with so many of you on this journey. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you who has provided feedback so far. And whilst it has indeed been a journey, the best bit is that we're not done, not by a long shot. So 1 year on, and we still have so many ideas on how to make this product even better. To date, 78% of our customers are all currently using our new app, and there are even more signed up for the rest of 2021. So it's exciting to bring you all on this journey with us. For those who haven't actually seen our birthday video, let's take a quick look. There's no sound there. Alan, can we get some sound on it? It's worth the wait. No sound. No sound.
It's probably okay. It's just music, isn't it? There's nobody talking, so we'll just let it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so that was our birthday video, and as you can see, a lot of uptake and a lot of your members are using it in a really, really positive manner. So on to the next slide. So you can see, I think that the graph itself speaks for itself. We have seen over 75,000 active users of CUMOBILE in the last 12 months and over 90,000 downloads to date. And as you can see by the graph, this is ever increasing every single day. So I'm sure you'll agree that this is a very positive and somewhat exponential growth has occurred over the last 12 months. Now, let me pass you over to Gary Bingham, our software development manager, who will walk you through our product framework and to let you in on how things are done behind the digital curtain.
Oh, thanks, Claire. Sounds very exciting. Yes, I'm Gary Bingham, software development manager here at Wellington, and I'm very excited to talk you through how we did the CUMOBILE. When we released CUMOBILE a little over a year ago, we committed ourselves to a pattern of continuous improvement through engagement with yourselves, but also through regular scheduled updates. So with this in mind, we released version 1.0 in June to a number of our bleeding edge early adopters, and then went through a cycle of an aggressive cycle of rollout through August and September 2020 to get the app into both iOS and Android into as many hands as possible. Then in November we upped the team and committed ourselves to monthly cycle of improvements. The cadence is set to monthly, the first Sunday of each month. Generally, we released a series of bug fixes, CR updates, and enhancements to improve the experience on the app. For those first 6 months, through November through to May 2021, we had 6 updates with 48 separate release items. Alan's going to show you, Alan, my tech lead, is going to show you some of those changes soon, as well as what we have planned in the next couple of releases, currently scheduled for this month and then in September. We moved from this release to a 2-month cadence. Sorry, from March we moved to a 2-month cadence. The reason for that is we felt that we'd resolved the majority of the bugs and the issues at that stage, and we were moving to more substantial updates, and you'll see some of those substantial updates in a minute. We also, those, because they were bigger, they required more QA and more development time. So that also it minimizes the disruption on sites. So they're only getting those downtime every other month. So yeah, I hope you love the changes as we do. Alan Nader, my tech lead, is going to step through some of those changes and give you some sneak peeks of the functionality to come. So enjoy. Thanks. Over to you, Alan.
Thanks for that, Gary. As I say, my name is Alan Adair, and as Gary said, I'm the digital tech lead here at Wellington. So I'm basically just going to spend the next few minutes running through some of the features that we've added to CUMOBILE over the past year, and also, as Gary says, give you a sneak peek into some of the new features that are coming along soon. So to begin with, I suppose one of the biggest and perhaps most important features that we've added is support for push notifications. I suppose enabling push notifications has basically allowed us the opportunity to add lots of new features into CUMOBILE that will basically help enhance the user experience and also help drive customer engagement with the app as well. So I'm basically going to spend the next few minutes just having a quick run through what we've done essentially with push. So one of the first major changes that we made with push was basically traditionally with CUMOBILE and C Online Plus, that basically when messages were sent when web messages were sent from Scion, they would generally arrive as email notifications in the members' email accounts. So basically, push has allowed us to basically implement that these web messages are now delivered via push. So I suppose examples of these push web messages might be successful transfer notifications, notifications to alert the member that their transfers have failed. Might be alerts that their loan has been granted and things like that there. So basically we've added support for that. So basically anybody that has the push enabled app installed will basically have access to these web messages. So I'm just going to run show you a little video here, basically just of an example of a very simple push web message push notification arriving on the device. So you see here basically that when basically the system here has delivered a push notification to the device, which will be available in the device's notification bar. On iOS, it's at the usually I think on iOS and Android it usually displays at the top of the screen, and it will basically give a nice indication to the user as to what the message is. And that's just an example one there of a message that might be displayed for when a successful transfer has been completed. But I suppose that's the most simple implementation of the push web messages. So as as I said before, sort of pushes allows us to implement various other bits and pieces of functionality. So we basically also added the ability for the member who has the push version of the app installed on the device to basically have the choice to have their one-time passcodes delivered via push as opposed to SMS. So this basically will help basically remove the current reliance that we have on SMS and basically, I suppose, reduce the number of SMSs that are sent throughout the system, because they can be now done via push notification as well. So I'll just run through a little video here to show you the process there. So for instance, the member would be logging into CUOnline. They'll enter their username and password as correctly as normal. And now you can see in the little login screen, if the member has the push enabled version of the app installed on their device, they will basically have this new option displayed on the login screen where they can select to send their one-time passcodes via push, or they can also revert to the normal SMS method as well. So if the member is happy to have their OTP delivered by push, they can select this option, click on the generate one-time passcode, and the push will be delivered. And as you can see, the delivery of push is generally very quick, probably much quicker than would be with SMS. So that's so it's a great benefit to it as well. So the member would receive a message that is similar to what they see there. And then the member would just enter in the one-time passcode as per normal, and that would log the user in. So the next feature, I suppose, that push has allowed us to implement as well is basically for our essentially for our current account customers as well. So basically, what we've done here is basically added support for 3D secure authorization of online purchases. So basically, I suppose the scenario behind this is basically a member who is using one of our current account debit cards to purchase something online from the likes of Amazon or Tesco's or wherever. And more often than not these days, basically the members are asked to authenticate themselves during this process. Traditionally, this is done via by sending SMSs, but a lot of the sort of the fintech banks and stuff and I suppose the traditional banks as well are now basically allowing you to complete this authorization using their apps as well. So we've basically used built in a mechanism, again using push as the driver for this, to basically allow the members who are using our current account debit cards to basically securely authorize their transactions as well using biometrics. So again, I'll just run you through a little video of the process for that. So we can just imagine here at the minute that the member is buying something online. They will receive a notification, a push notification there to say that, oops, sorry about that. The member will be buying something online. They will receive a push notification to say that we want to authenticate this transaction. So the member will click on that authenticate push. Sorry, excuse me. So they will click on this authenticate transaction push, which will then navigate the user to our authorization page. The member will then basically be able to view the transaction that we're trying to authenticate. If they're happy with it and it was them that was making it, they can click on the confirm button and they will basically be able to approve that transaction using biometrics either by fingerprint on Android or iOS on Face ID on iOS. So another thing that basically push has allowed us to implement as well is basically the basically using push notifications to log into our kiosk. And before, generally, basically when the member was logging into our kiosk, they had to supply a username and a PIN, and obviously sometimes people forget their PINs or their login credentials. So we've built this push notification kiosk login and to help get around those problems. So basically, what happens here is basically when the member wants to log in to a secure part of the kiosk, for instance, this account deposit section here, they will be prompted to enter the username. At that point, we will determine whether or not that person has the app installed and if they are biometrically registered. If they are, we send a push notification to their registered mobile device. The member will open that push notification, and they will again be redirected to our authorization page, similar to the 3D Secure option there that we just seen. They can then approve the request biometrically, again using fingerprint or Face ID. And then basically once they've successfully approved that, we will send a message back to the kiosk to log the member in. So again, we'll just show a little video here to run through that. So the member clicks on the account deposit button, enters their username. We detect that that member is app enabled, so we send a push, bring them to the other same page. They log in, authenticate themselves, and then we log them into the kiosk, and that's them now free to transact as they normally would. So that's a pretty useful feature there. So as I say, there's been lots and lots of things we've been able to do with push, and to be honest as well, there's lots of different things that we can do as well. So we certainly haven't finished with our push implementation there. We've kind of built the engine for push, and we can we'll certainly keep adding features to that as we go along as part of our continual improvement cycle. So that's good with push. So one of the other things that we've added over the past year is basically the biometric signing of documents as well. Traditionally on the original version of CUMOBILE, basically whenever a member was signing their documents that have been sent up from signed to be signed, as part of that signing process, we required the user to request a one-time passcode, and then basically once they received that one-time passcode, they would enter that in, and then that would prove who they were. As we all know, sort of the SMS reliance on the SMS solution isn't as good as it could be. So we basically have implemented some functionality that basically allows the member, rather than sending SMS, to sign to sort of authenticate themselves biometrically, which is a much quicker process, and sort of with it being biometric, it's much more secure as well. So again, we'll run through a little video here of what we've done there. So basically, the member will have received a notification that they have a document that they need to sign online, and they'll be essentially be driven to this document signing page on the app. They will click on this sign button, which will then bring them to this little confirm that they want to sign this document page. And then basically, if the member is happy to sign it, they can click on the confirm button. If they don't wish to sign, they can click on decline. If they click on confirm, it will basically bring up the biometric authentication method that the member has registered on their device. So again, it will be fingerprint on Android and Face ID or fingerprint on iOS. So the member will click on confirm, and in this instance, it has used Face ID there to successfully authenticate the user, and that is the document signing process complete. So as you can see, that's a really seamless and quick process there. There's no waiting for SMS, and it's as I say, it's secure as well. So as well as the signing document stuff there as well, we've also taken the opportunity to improve the digital onboarding journey that we've implemented as part of the onboarding solution for CUMOBILE. And basically what we've done here, we've basically implemented a new version of the liveness journey that the members have to go through during the onboarding process. Generally, when the member was going through the process previously, it was on occasions it was difficult for the member to follow, and we've made this new version much easier and quicker for the member to use. It guides the user through the process in a much clearer and easier way. So again, I'll run this little video here just show you the process. So as you can see here, basically there's a new interface has been sort of added here that sort of makes the user position their face in the correct position for the camera, and it also gives the user clear advice as to what they need to do to complete the test. So it's much more intuitive and easy for the member to follow. So again, here they're just taking through the various steps. It's as simple as that. And we find that that's a much better improvement on what was there before. Say the whole guidance for the user has greatly improved things there. So that's some of the bigger features that we've added to the existing version of CUMOBILE. So now we're going to take a little bit of time just to sort of run through some of the new stuff that's coming along over the next number of months. So just to be aware that some of these items are still in QA and various different stages of QA and development. So some of the images here aren't totally finalized and are subject to change. So just to be aware of that. So the first new feature one of the first new features that is coming along will be the integration of open banking into CUMOBILE. So basically, what we're hoping to achieve here with this open banking is basically allowing our members to basically connect their everyday current accounts during our loan application process, so that we can retrieve basically the most up-to-date financial data that we can get for that particular member. So we will be retrieving a number of months transactional data from the account that the member has selected to connect, and we'll be able to use that then data to basically help us determine whether or not the loans can be granted. So again, I'm going to just run through a little video here of the process. So we can just assume here that the member has logged into CUMOBILE and is going through the loan application process. So they've arrived at this loan application process menu. They've clicked on this new loan button, and initially they just go through the normal steps of deciding what type of loan they want, why they want to borrow it, how much, and over how long. Whoops. And you can see that again. sorry, excuse me. So at this point, basically the member will be prompted if they want to connect their bank account, and if they do select the connect bank account button, they'll be asked to go through the authentication process. So at this point, we basically bring them through the open banking authentication process, where we tell them what sort of data that we're retrieving from the bank, and then we actually bring them to their actual current account bank as well, so they can actually authenticate with that bank and give us consent for retrieving the data. As you can see there. So we tell them what we want to get. The member selects the bank that they want to do it from. They then enter in their credentials for that particular bank. This is just a test bank we're using here. So that they would enter the credentials, and at that point it would connect to the open bank. And at that point we would go off. We now have consent, and we would now go off and retrieve up to potentially from 3 to 6 months worth of transactional data. So once we've retrieved that data, the normal loan application process would follow. We've made various parts of it configurable, like for instance, if you can turn off the whole sort of expenses section, stuff like that as well, depending, because we've extracted the transactions from the data from your bank, you may not need to get those additional expenses as well. So once we've extracted all that data, and we basically send that down along with all the data that we've collected during the loan process to Scion. And basically what will happen here then is basically the credit union loan staff will have access to this dashboard that will basically highlight the financial details that we've extracted from the data from the open banking connection to that particular member and all their accounts. So you can see here this dashboard essentially, we've broken it down into various different areas. We basically at the top of the screen here, we basically give them sort of an average sort of income and expense view of, as to what their average income and expenses are, sort of what the net difference is between their income and expenses, and what the current balance is on their account. We also basically give them a categorized breakdown of their outgoings on a monthly basis, so we can see sort of how that particular member is spending their money. And then we also give them basically a brief sort of income and outgoing expenditure on a monthly basis, sort of mapping the incomes against their outgoings. And then perhaps the one of the most useful features is basically, as I said, as part of the open banking process, we've basically retrieved potentially up to 6 months worth of transactional data from that account, and we now have a fully searchable table of those transactions. So you can search on certain transaction categories, amounts, descriptions, dates, and essentially any of that function, any of that table can be searchable. So just again, the video here, we can see that in action. And as I say, you can search for pretty much anything within that table. And then at the bottom of the dashboard here, we basically just have a little running balance graph here that basically shows us essentially how the member uses their bank account over the period of data that we've retrieved from the database. There, it's basically a view of the running balance on the member's account. So again, that's a feature that is the open banking integration is coming along soon. So one of another great feature that is coming along very soon is basically the real-time transfer confirmation piece. So basically, what is going to happen here is basically whenever a member currently makes a payment on CUMOBILE, we've made some changes that will basically give the member almost immediate feedback as to on the status of that transfer. We'll basically tell them if it's been posted successfully immediately, or if there's been an issue with it. We'll tell them that that the I suppose the payment might need approval, or it might have failed because of some because there wasn't enough funds in the account to do that. So we will alert them to that immediately. So as you can see from the screenshots here, we've made some changes here. We're basically we'll sort of we'll put in this sort of nice little spinner on there, because basically all things done on all things now being sent down in real time. So we're basically keep the user informed that we're basically processing their, for instance, their transfer request. And then basically once we've got a response back from Scion, we'll basically display that response to the member, either that the transaction was successful, or if there was an issue with it, we'll also tell them what that issue was. And also as a sort of benefit of that as well, it also basically allows us then to basically update to make sure that the balances and the transaction lists that the members see then are up to date. So so they get basically a much more up-to-date view of their account balance there and transaction list. So another little thing that's coming along as well then is basically the implementation of revolving credit into our CU mobile app. So basically as part of the revolving credit implementation, basically members can withdraw either all or part of their revolving credit loan balance. So we've basically now given them the ability to do that online as well. So as you can see from the screenshots here, we basically, for instance, this first one on the left here, we can basically, if the loan is a revolving credit loan and there is a issuable amount still on that account, we will basically make this withdraw button available to the member that will basically allow them to draw down that and any amount up to this issuable amount to a destination of their choice. So at this point, we basically bring them through a little wizard, which will allow the member to select how much they want to withdraw and to where they want the funds to go. So that will be basically, the destination will basically be a payee essentially that they have set up before. So once they've done that, we'll again ask them for some credentials just to prove that, and then they will issue the request and send that for processing in Scion. So that's another little feature that's coming along soon as well. So one of the major things that we've been looking into as well is basically over these last number of months as to how we can improve the whole user experience and make the app as user friendly to the user as well. So we've been doing some lots of work on that, as I said, over the last few months, and we've come up with a few we've come up with a prototype, I suppose, of how we envisage our new landing page of the app to look. So hopefully I'm going to run a little video here, and hopefully you'll like what you see. we've tried to make the interface as intuitive as possible, and it's nice and clean, and it's supposed to get the information to the user that they need to see in a nice, easy way. As I say, looks very modern and nice and easy to use. So hopefully you liked what you've seen there. So that's hopefully there you've seen some of the great stuff that we've done over the last year there, sort of in adding some features, and hopefully you say like what you've seen there with the new stuff that is coming along as well. So with that, then I shall hand you back to Rebecca for QA.
Thanks for that, Alan, and thanks, Gary and Claire, as well. I'm just going to take some questions, so keep your questions coming in through the chat bar, or feel free to unmute your mic and ask. I'll kick off. Kieran Byrne asks, how will a member know if they have the push version of the app?
Sorry, yes, well, so I can take that one. I can take that one, Rebecca. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, well, if the let me start from scratch here. So basically, if the member has automatic updates installed on their on the device, and the push version of the app is in the store, they will automatically get that push version installed on their device. And for it, and also as well, for instance, the options there for sending OTPs via push and stuff like that will only be available if the member has the push app installed. So you won't see any of those unless you do have that installed.
Thanks, and related to that, we will communicate out to you guys when we're rolling out the push version of the app for your members to use. We'll be sending out separate communications because we're having to roll out push for iOS and Android separately. You will know, so you can communicate to your members when that push notification version of the app is ready for them.
Okay, thanks both. Ted asks, will members understand what send via push means? It's a good question. I understand what it means, but that doesn't mean everybody does.
Yeah, well, I would certainly push these days is a fairly common feature on most apps, to be honest, and I think most people will certainly understand that. I suppose we could certainly look into sort of giving them some sort of explanation as to the purpose of push and what it is, so, and to make that clearer for them, certainly. But we could potentially do something now to do that.
Okay, thanks, Alan. Podrick says he recently chose to receive his OTP via push, but it didn't come through. Are there any bugs or usage tips that they should be aware of?
Well, yeah, I don't know about bugs. Sorry, Alan, 1 second. I don't know about bugs, but I think Alan's just going to at least do the rollout of the push. So once you get a push version of the app on your phone, then you will get OTPs coming through via push. Sorry, Alan.
Yeah, but I was actually just going to say the same thing there, Gary. Yeah, it's basically basically once they have the push push version through there, that they should that should become available. Options should be available for them.
Okay, I think he maybe does have it enabled, but
yeah.
maybe you can clarify.
Yeah,
but,
I will look into that. If we can get Podrick's details, I'm sure I'll check that out.
Yeah, I can share them with you all, and that's no problem. Podrick also asks, for the image of the card that shows up for approving transactions, can we get an image of our specific debit card, e.g. currentaccount.ie card for currentaccount.ie users, if we have the individually branded app?
We generally there on that authorization page, we display either the payac card or an image of the CUSOB current debit cards. So we basically have stock images of the payac card and the CUSOB, which are the ones that we use currently.
Okay, great. Patrick Lawler asks, is there a chance Wellington could produce member help videos similar to those that are being used throughout your presentation?
Rebecca, I'll take that one. So yes, is the answer, no problem. That's something we're actually working on, Patrick, is we have a new tech author role now in Wellington IT, and their job is to provide and produce user documentation, so that can come in the version of a PDF or some user training videos, but it is something we are definitely going to do going forward. And I think, as you said yourself there, it was really helpful actually seeing sometimes members would react better to videos than they do with documents. So yes, is the short answer to that one. So yes, there you go.
Thanks, Claire. Patrick also asks, would Wellington consider doing a survey for all CUMOBILE users to accurately assess feedback and measure success?
I'll also take that one. So we actually put out a survey at the start of the year, and also Declan sent out a mid-year Q2 update. There's a link to that survey in that communication as well. So feel free to access that, Patrick. And
sorry, Claire. Sorry, can I just come in there? I just to clarify, I actually mean to members, not to credit unions. Yeah.
It isn't something we really haven't thought of, because we take our feedback from you. So if you want to carry out some surveys from your members, we can take that feedback.
But do you not think it would be like more beneficial for you as designers to understand the user experience by doing something for all users as opposed to us trying to tell you what our experience is? You know, I think it would be quite a simple thing to do, but really beneficial to you who are designing the product for our users, you know.
It's something that we can definitely take on board, but
let's take that away, Claire. Yeah, absolutely, Patrick. I mean, I think it is something we could implement quite quickly, and aligned with some of the survey changes that we're making in the app and in CU Online. So I definitely think that sort of information is super valuable to us. We've always, when we're developing the CUMOBILE app, had engagement with both the customers and members in mind. And while we have always had a maybe not limited access to users of this app via friends and family and yourselves, a much wider, and now that we have a much established user base, that would be valuable information. We'll definitely look into that.
Great, thanks very much.
Just to add to that as well, we also have the feedback directly from members in the app stores as well. So that's something that we use, and we take that on board as well.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for that. Let me see where I'm at. Niall Malone said, when transferring funds in CUMOBILE, they've been asked to enter their password to complete the process instead of the biometric identification. A better experience would be for the user to use one form of security identification for all processes. Is there?
Yeah, that's
that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's on our.
Sorry, Alan, you're muted there. Sorry, I think somebody muted everyone.
Sorry. Yes. That is on our. That is on our backlog of things to do there. We're basically busy anywhere where you're requested to enter the password on the app. That will, if the member has biometric is enabled, will prompt them for fingerprint or Face ID at that point. But say that's so that is something
coming soon.
That is coming. Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Brendan Ryan asks, will the open banking feature be available on Scion for counter, etc. loan applications? Members could confirm via push notification.
We're having discussions on that. I know we have certainly discussed about linking into the linking open banking into Scion in some format. So we're still discussing that amongst ourselves at the minute, but hopefully that is something that we're certainly investigating.
Thank you. Niall Malone asks, if the member has a MyCU account, can we get the system to default to the member's MyCU account details and transfer money? This would make the UX journey easier and also encourages uptake and use of the MyCU product offering.
I'm sorry, Rebecca, that's for the loan, when applying for loans.
When applying for loans?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
those details in, already pre-filled in, I think is what you mean there?
Yeah, that'd be right, yeah.
That's something that we can certainly look into, and we can certainly do some investigations on that. So we shall take that on board and check into the feasibility of that.
Absolutely. I think we have a wider review of the loans process in the second half of the year, Alan, don't we? So it'll definitely, and thanks for the feedback there as well, because we're always looking for ways to improve the app. So thanks for that.
Okay, thanks guys. Patrick Luller asks, when redesigning the landing screen, did we engage with any members on their user experience?
So it's a half and half answer to this. So yes, what we did do is we looked at the member survey feedback from the app stores. What we also did is we looked at our competitors. We looked at the Monzos, we looked at the Revoluts of the industry, and we kind of looked at what was kind of working, what wasn't working. We were also very cautious that when we were redesigning this, that the features and functionalities kind of remained the similar, because the promotion around this app is that it's very similar to CE Online Plus. So that's what it's been our target. So when we have a better prototype, we will actually put this out to yourselves and some user groups, and just to get feedback on what you like, what you don't like, what works and what doesn't work. So this is very much in the early stages of development, and it really was just a prototype at this point, just to gauge, I suppose, feelings on the approach that we're taking, really.
Oh, and I will say also that it gives the illusion that that's a very finished product. Our developers have done a great job in that, but it is very much a prototype at this stage, and will change dramatically through the life cycle of this project. This engagement with members and etc. will happen during the next few weeks and months.
Thank you. Eugene asks, will we email the presentation that Alan has? Yes, we will send out a recording of that, Eugene, shortly after this session. Neve asks, is the push notifications and app kiosk login available for all models of the Glory kiosk?
Yes, yeah, I certainly believe so. Yeah, we'll double check that for you, but I certainly don't believe it's tied to any specific model at all. So I believe that's the case. But I will confirm that for you just to make sure.
Thanks, Alan. Richard asks, will the option to use push notifications be available to members logging in on a desktop, and also will the push option be available to sign an online loan electronically?
Push notification. Yes, that push. If, for instance, if you're logging into CE Online and the member has the push enabled version of the app installed, yes, that send OTP via push button option will be available. And we are also looking into basically if you're signing something on CE Online as well. Sorry, if you're signing the document on CE Online as well, that it also avails of the push notification as well.
Thanks, Alan. There's another question. Can you clarify, are push notifications currently available to credit union mobile users, or is the functionality in the process of being rolled out to credit unions? Gary, you had mentioned something about that earlier. Do you want to take that one? You're on mute. Sorry, Gary.
Sorry.
You're okay.
I got ended up on mute. So we're currently in the process of rolling it out. We've had run into a number of difficulties with our latest version of Android, which is gazumped a little bit of the rollout of that. We would love to have it out in your hands before now, but we are in the process of rolling that out over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you. David asks, when will the open banking dashboard be made available?
Alan, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. I can do. We're currently going through our final stages of QA on that. So we're not too far away on that one. So we're talking probably potentially a sort of early quarter, potentially early quarter 3. Essentially busy. No, sorry. This,
Q3
yes,
was it?
yes. Yeah, sorry. Early Q3. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
So maybe just to add that as well. So there's new features and functionalities coming on board, such as revolving credit and open banking. So again, they've all been targeted for 2021 release, and we are on track with open banking for the end of Q3. We are going to aim to maybe deliver a little bit earlier than that, and the same revolving credit as well.
Okay, thanks, Claire. That sort of ties into Jason's questions. Do we have a timeline for when all these features are available?
A lot of most of these products, there's no, apart from the landing screen, most of these products are almost ready to deliver. Just most are in the latter stages of QA. So we will be trying to align the best as possible to our release schedule. So we have a release imminent, which you'll see in July, which you'll see some of these changes come through. But the majority of the changes we see here will be in the September release. As Claire said, we're going to try and get open banking out in the interim. We'll see how that goes, but we'll let you know. But nothing here is on the long finger, and you'll see these changes in the next couple of months.
Okay, thank you. We have one last question, unless anyone wants to pop any more into the chat bar, from Brendan. Can we receive stats on members using the new app as it was previously available with CU Anywhere as compared to desktop version?
Alan, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, that's something that will be coming along, Brendan. That is something that is in our task backlog that we aim to deliver in busy one of our continual improvement cycles.
Okay, thank you everyone, and there's no more questions, so we'll leave it there. And there's a couple of questions we'll take offline, and we'll follow up with the people that asked them. We have a note of those. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks Alan, Claire, and Gary for leading that session, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.